James Webb Space Telescope was eagerly awaited before its launch last year. However, now that the most powerful and most expensive ever telescope is in operation, the JWST is threatening to turn astronomy upside down with a single finding. The latest pictures from the JWST have proven the Big Bang Theory did not happen, sending the scientific community into a frenzy. What are these latest pictures from the JWST? How do the pictures prove the Big Bang Theory was wrong? Join us as we dive into how the James Webb Space Telescope finally proved the Big Bang Theory is wrong.
Alright, stopping it there, and welcome to Mika Reaction Reviews, where we react review to things on the internet. And today we are reacting to another science video. The other day I uploaded and published the reaction I did with Joe Rogan and Graham Hancock that talked about, the gatekeeping of science, especially when it comes to the archaeology field. And I came across this video a couple of weeks ago, and when I saw the title, I was instantly click, right? Because the Big Bang Theory is one of the most mainstream accepted theories when it comes to how we got here and sort of the start of evolution of mankind. Now, I first want to say that I'm not reacting to this because I ever had a problem with the Big Bang Theory, because I never did. And as somebody who used to be religious, used to be very heavily involved in church, and now I'm just spiritual, I'm no longer religious, but I do believe in God, whatever that is. I never really understood why atheists always thought the Big Bang Theory was a mic drop or the proof that God did not exist. It was never the proof of an existence that there was no God, or proof that there was no God. So for me, when I heard about the Big Bang Theory, I accepted it like a lot of people, but I accepted it as okay, well, that's how God did it. I never really understood why people thought that was proof of no God. I think it's because a lot of people believe, atheists believe, that anybody who's religious, spiritual, or just believe in God always comes from a very supernatural, mystic, magical thinking. And yes, some of it is sort of, you have to believe by faith. Some of it's supernatural, some of it's spiritual. But, there's videos also explaining that. There's research also explaining that. But I'm not going to get into that in this video. However, I never had a problem with scientific methods of explaining things. It's kind of like sleep paralysis, right? If you ever had sleep paralysis, first of all, my sympathies to you. I used to get it quite a bit. Evangelistic Christians have their own beliefs when it comes to sleep paralysis, but I also believe in the scientific explanation of sleep paralysis, right? If you don't know the scientific explanation of sleep paralysis, it's basically chemicals are released in your brain when you fall into sleep that paralyzes your body, so you do not move or flail or hurt yourself while you're sleeping, and then your mind goes to sleep, REM sleep, right? But there's a hiccup that happens where your body is still paralyzed, but your brain kind of wakes up halfway because you're not truly awake, and that abiding, scary feeling is just caused by the fact that you can't move or whatever like that. But they don't explain the fact that for generations, decades, throughout different cultures and religions, throughout the years, before there was internet, before there was travel, that many cultures have explain sleep paralysis with this very similar detail that people have had throughout the years. So science can explain the mechanism of how sleep paralysis comes about, but they can't explain why sleep paralysis throughout, again, generations, throughout cultures, have such similarities, right? If you read about sleep paralysis, people usually see the same things. The haggard witch, the tall man, stuff like that. I always saw a haggard woman in my sleep paralysis. Why isn't it personalized? Why don't I see my biggest fears? I don't know, spiders. That's not my biggest fear, but why aren't sleep paralysis personalized to that person's fear? And why is it usually why is it so many commonalities linked to all these sleep paralysis episodes, again, across generations, across cultures, across the planet? So, scientific method can explain the mechanism of things. I don't have a problem with that, and I can totally accept it. I believe when scientists explain sleep paralysis. So I believe the Big Bang Theory, knowing that it was still a theory, but I believe that was the best best explanation that we had at the time. So I'm not coming at this of like, haha, atheist, haha, mic drop. Like, I'm just coming at it as like, this is a big discovery if this is actually true. And this channel that this came from is not a religious channel. This is not a Christian channel. This is not a faith-based channel. This is just a science channel. So that is to expand people's biases and perceptions of why you think I'm reacting to this. I just think this is a great scientific discovery, and as a scientific minded, you should welcome, again, new scientific discoveries and theories. So anyway, I've been talking long enough. I want to now get back into the video. I don't know if the sleep paralysis was too off the wall, but I was trying to explain how I can believe in a scientific theory and still understand that not everything can be explained by science. That's what's the point of that. But anyway, let's get back into the video. Before I do, if you like this type of videos, please like, comment, and subscribe. Hit that bell to get notifications when I do upload. All of that really does help with the algorithm, guys. And if you'd like to support the channel even further, you can donate. And PayPal me link is in the description box below and also in the comment section. Of course, it helps, but you don't have to. You can just like, comment, and subscribe. Another great way to support this channel is either join my brand new membership program, different levels, different tiers, different perks, or you can visit my brand new merch shop. Links down below. Or if you like, you can super thanks. Other than that, sit back, relax, and enjoy the video. All right, here we go.
How expensive can a telescope get? The James Webb Space Telescope set a new record in that regard. In terms of work hours, the telescope guzzled millions of hours, with development stretching over decades. In terms of money, no other telescope comes near at $10 billion. The JWST was also an engineering nightmare, as it involved designing it to fit the launch rocket. No rocket was large enough to contain it, so the engineers had to design it to fold in multiple places. The large heat shield was folded up and had to be unfurled as it journeyed to its permanent location. And that was not even the riskiest part of the telescope. The centerpiece, the reflecting mirror, also had to be broken into 18 different pieces and then folded. It was quite delicate, and both engineers and scientists that worked on it literally held their breath during the launch due to the number of things that could go wrong. Compounding their worries was the fact that the JWST is literally beyond repair or maintenance. The telescope is located so far away, about 1 million miles, that it's impossible to send in a repair crew if anything goes wrong. There is no chance for refueling either, meaning the mission ends when the fuel runs out. Compared to the potential benefits, however, the risks with the JWST are more than worth it. It promises to widen our knowledge of the outer cosmos in a way that no other single scientific instrument has done. As such, since the telescope has been declared operational, scientists from all over the world have been queuing for their turn to use the powerful telescope to study space. However, none of them was prepared for one of the early nasty surprises the telescope had in store. Just weeks into its operation, the JWST has returned pictures that prove the Big Bang couldn't have happened. The Big Bang has become the gospel where astronomy is concerned. Thanks to the popularity of the hit show The Big Bang Theory, many people explain the origin of the universe using the Big Bang. The Big Bang Theory traces its roots back to a priest-cum astronomer named Georges Lemaitre. He had this huge idea in 1927 that a very long time ago, the universe started as just a single point. He said the universe stretched and expanded to get as big as it is now, and that it could keep on stretching. Some years later, famous astronomer Edwin Hubble, whose space telescope was named after, built upon Lemaitre's idea. Hubble discovered that other galaxies were moving away from us, and that the farthest galaxies were moving faster than the ones close to us. The astronomer took this to mean the universe was still expanding, just like Lemaitre thought. Basically, if things were moving apart, it meant that long ago, everything had been close together. You see, according to the Big Bang, when the universe began, it was just hot, tiny particles mixed with light and energy. However, as everything expanded and took up more space, it cooled down. The tiny particles then grouped together and formed atoms. Then those atoms grouped together, and over a long period of time, the atoms came together to form the stars and galaxies that you see today. Those first stars created bigger atoms and groups of atoms, leading to more stars being born. At the same time, galaxies were crashing and grouping together in one chaotic cosmic show. As new stars were being born and dying, other objects like asteroids, comets, planets, and black holes formed. All this took place within a period of about 14 billion years. But what if the Big Bang didn't happen?
So first of all, The fact that a priest had something to do with the Big Bang Theory is actually quite interesting and proves my point that just because someone is religious or believes in God doesn't mean that they are anti-science or anti-scientific theories or methods. Second of all, that is an expensive telescope and a really, really big risk. The fact that you can't repair it and you can't refuel it, it's basically like a one and go and you throw it away. That's $10 billion, but I hope it was worth it. And also all the scientists or astrologists who are lining up to look through this telescope, I wonder how long they get, because I'm pretty sure it's a long list that probably spans for years. But anyway, very interesting. Let's get back into it.
While many scientists may not like to entertain this thought, as the theory has become the staple of modern astronomy, the JWST is unapologetic with its recent set of pictures. While the general public may be enthralled by the stunning images produced by the JWST, scientists are struggling to explain away their contradiction with the theory of the Big Bang. The problem with the pictures is that they show many galaxies that are surprisingly smooth, small, and old. But why exactly do galaxies that are smooth, small, and old contradict the Big Bang theory? Let's take it from the too small angle first. Assuming the universe is expanding, a strange optical illusion has to exist. The fact is that galaxies or any other objects in space that occur naturally do not continue to look smaller and smaller with increasing distance. Actually, past a certain point, they should start looking larger and larger. If you wonder why, it is because their light is supposed to have left them when they were closer to us. This is the opposite of what we observe in the ordinary, non-expanding space, where objects look smaller in proportion to their distance. Scientists that have studied the images by the JWST can't hide the fact that they show smaller galaxies. Even galaxies with greater luminosity and mass than the Milky Way galaxy are seen in these images to be 2 to 3 times smaller than in similar images observed with the Hubble Space Telescope. The new galaxies also have redshifts which are also 2 to 3 times greater. An expanding universe is not expected to behave like this. The galaxies that the JWST shows are just the same size as the galaxies near to us, if it is assumed that the universe is not expanding and redshift is proportional to distance. However, the Big Bang implies these distant galaxies must be intrinsically extremely tiny to compensate for the hypothesized optical illusion. One galaxy, the GHZ2, is much more luminous than the Milky Way. However, its calculated radius is only 300 light-years, which is 150 times smaller than the radius of our Milky Way. Its surface brightness or brightness per unit area would be 600 times that of the brightest galaxy in the local universe. Its density would be tens of thousands of times that of the galaxies we see today. What about the galaxies being smooth? How does that affect the Big Bang theory? Well, for the Big Bang to be true, there must be the existence of tiny, ultra-dense galaxies known as Mighty Mouse galaxies. JWST has made the problem far worse. The theory speculates that the tiny galaxies grow up into present-day galaxies by colliding with each other, which leads to merging as they become more spread out. To illustrate this kind of merger, imagine a magical toy car that is a centimeter long but weighs as much as an SUV. Further, imagine that it grows up into a real SUV by colliding with many other toy cars. This is where the images from the JWST become problematic for the Big Bang. Even though the illustration seems incredible to start with, you will at least expect to see at least some fender dents in the colliding cars. So Big Bang proponents expected to see galaxies bearing scars or serious rough edges from the impact they survived or went through. But to their surprise, the JWST revealed overwhelmingly smooth disks and neat spiral forms. There is no difference between their appearance and that of the galaxies of today. Data showed that the images contained smooth spiral galaxies that are about 10 times more than the theory had predicted. This challenges the idea of the merger of galaxies being common. In other words, this data attacks the merger theory. Now what happens when galaxy mergers are few? The thing is, galaxies can't grow that big without the process of merging. This means larger galaxies have always been immense and they were never tiny. It also means the optical illusion predicted from the expanding universe hypothesis does not exist. And no illusion means no expansion. The illusion is an unavoidable prediction from expansion. Let's look at the too old aspect next. This is actually similar or the same as too many. The JWST has numerous filters that it uses to take its images in the infrared part of the spectrum. This allows astronomers to glimpse the colors of distant galaxies. Basically, it is what astronomers use to calculate the age of stars in these galaxies. Young hot stars appear blue in color, and older, cooler stars are yellow or red. Now, the Big Bang Theory implies the most distant galaxies in the JWST images are appearing as they were some 400 to 500 million years after the origin of the universe. However, some of these galaxies have exhibited stellar populations over 1 billion years old. Because nothing could have come from before the Big Bang, these galaxies prove that the Big Bang did not happen. Of course, we can't have a galaxy older than the Big Bang, so for the Big Bang Theory to be true, the JWST should be seeing fewer and fewer galaxies the more it looks back. Eventually, it would stop seeing galaxies or enter the dark ages of the cosmos. But researchers are demonstrating that galaxies as massive as the Milky Way are common even a few hundred million years after the supposed Big Bang. The scientists claim the new JWST images show at least 100,000 times as many galaxies as theorists predicted at redshifts more than 10. And could so many large galaxies have been formed in so little time? Not likely at all, which means there was no Big Bang. Let's pause here and ask what happens if the scientific establishment accepts that the Big Bang Theory is flawed.
Okay, so let's take that pause. I understand everything he's saying, but because I'm not an astrologist or I'm not a scientist, I can probably never explain this back to another person. Just give them the link to the video. However, maybe the argument against this would be, okay, we were wrong about when the Big Bang happened. It happened much later, billions of years later than we initially thought. So I don't know if that would be possible. I don't know if you break down the timeline that completely destroys the theory, but very interesting. I understand everything you're saying, but yeah, like if there was a galaxy or Milky Ways that existed billions of years before the Big Bang apparently happened, then that's apparently not the case, obviously. Anyway, let's continue.
Must then be a new way to explain the universe's beginnings. One likely explanation is plasma filamentation, which has been around for about 5 decades. This process can actually be explained using physical processes common in the laboratory. Plasma is the electrically conducting gas that forms most of all the matter in space, including the stars and the space between the stars. Only the Hubble redshift relation would still need some new physical process to explain the loss of energy as light travels huge distances. One of the critical processes in plasmas that scientists have identified and studied is plasma filamentation. This is the process by which electric current and the magnetic fields they create draw plasma into the lacy system of filaments that are visible at all scales in the universe. Plasma filamentation is one of the basic processes that led to the creation of planets, stars, galaxies, and other structures. Plasma filamentation is also crucial in the effort to develop fusion energy artificially. The JWST is just doing its job, opening our minds to new ways to see the universe. It is already making scientists think of what would happen if the Big Bang actually never happened. Let's hear what you think of the validity of the Big Bang Theory in the comments section below.
Alright guys, that was it. Tell me guys what do you think. If anybody is more into this field of science or astrology, if you can explain it or break it down in more layman terms in the comment section, I'm pretty sure a lot of people will be appreciative of you. Do a good job, then I'll pin you at the top. There was a documentary I saw years ago, and I don't remember the name of it exactly, and I cannot find it for the life of me, and I've actually looked throughout the last couple of years trying to find it because it's a really interesting documentary. But there's a part of the documentary where they actually go through each scientific theory of like how the world evolved, how we evolved, evolution, archaeology, and go to each individual one that has been accepted by the mainstream but quietly debunked. Even some Darwin theories have been quietly debunked, but because they're already taught in education, they've been really accepted by most people or a lot of people, then it's kind of like they just let these theories fly off or stay around as the most accepted theory, where a lot of the scientific community has quietly realized that that's not actually the case. And so I don't know, I think this is really interesting, and this is what science is about, is constantly evolving and changing and experimenting and digging. You know what I mean? I don't know. I found this really interesting. Again, I never really had a problem with the Big Bang Theory. I know a lot of Christians and religious people and church people do, but I never had a problem with it. So it wasn't this. This doesn't spark my interest only because of that, but it sparked my interest because if this is true, that shakes up a lot of stuff. I'm pretty sure it will be fought against. I'm pretty sure there's plenty of scientists that would disagree with this, but maybe it's the start of a new scientific revolutionary theory. But anyway, guys, tell me what you think in the comment section below. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Hit that bell to get your notifications when I do upload. All that really does help with the algorithm, guys. And if you'd like to support the channel even further, you can donate. And if you'd like to support the channel even further, you can donate. My PayPal link is in the description box below, and also in the comments section. Of course, it helps, but you don't have to. You can just like, comment, and subscribe. Another great way to support this channel is either join my brand new membership program, different levels, different tiers, different perks, or you can visit my brand new merch shop. Links down below, and links to all of the eternal platforms I'm on, my socials, including my Twitter. All the ways to support me and all the ways to contact me for business is always in the links down below. And if you like, you can super thanks. And I also have a segment. And I also have my second travel vlog channel. I travel as a lifestyle. I live abroad. If you'd like to know where I am in the world, you can go description box below. Also in the comment section, hit the link. Go subscribe to my travel vlog channel. And or follow me on my travel Instagram. My stories is usually what's most up to date. And I have all of my other YouTube channels. Links down below. Go support, go subscribe. And you guys have an amazing day. Bye.